Namaste and welcome. My name is Dana Saray, co-founder of Hanuman Academy, and really excited to have Anand Mehrotra with us here this morning. Anand is a master yoga teacher, founder of Sattva Yoga, and a visionary leader, and also a Vedic astrologer, and really excited because we have this looming eclipse happening tomorrow, a full eclipse here in the United States. There's lots of energy around this eclipse, and we thought Anand would be the perfect guide for us to sort of bring us into a little bit of perspective around how to use the energy that is really alive for our fuel, as fuel for our personal self-mastery and also our collective awakening. We have a course coming out with Anand in November called The Path to Radical Self-Mastery. So if these teachings really speak to you, we'd love to share more with you about that. But this is an opportunity to really go into this topic of self-mastery and how this energy of the eclipse, which at least here in America we're very attuned to, how this can really fuel our practice. So welcome, Anand. So grateful to have you here.
Thank you, Dana. So great to be with you. Thank you for setting it up.
Yes. So Anand, the topic, how we can use the energy of this eclipse to really fuel our personal transformation, our collective awakening. And there's a lot of turbulence, I would say. I know that I've been experiencing some within myself. Everybody I talk to seems to have something arising for them in this moment. And then when we look on the collective field in the United States, at least, there's a lot of political activation and a big dialogue around the hatred and racism. And so would just love to hear your guidance on how we can navigate in these times. And yeah.
Yes. It is interesting that how nature designed for us to be speaking on this day. It wasn't, originally. It was not really conscious planning going that, oh, we should do it just a day before the eclipse. That's how nature designed it to be. So there has to be some relevance for us to be speaking of, not just from the mind, but from nature's intelligence, nature's guidance. As you pick this topic, and it just happens to be this day, right before the eclipse. So, I think it's a very powerful symbol. I think, definitely, you get a full eclipse once every 18 months or so, but the visible one is rare, which can be visible from such a, there's a big spectrum, about 100 or so kilometers anywhere, where it's fully visible. So it becomes a powerful impact, because one of the most magnificent celestial event. Now, that being said, if you study the human history in the past, the humans have had a very, they were very afraid of this event, because sun represented the power, sun represented authority, vitality, life-giving force, and in the middle of the day, it was overshadowed and the temperature dropped. That's what happened. All of a sudden, the temperature dropped, and it seemed like being engulfed by darkness, because the moon's shadow, starts to fall. And the moon, which is really fascinating, is 20 times smaller than the sun. It's able to overshadow the sun, just because how our solar system is magnificently designed, that the distance of this moon from the earth is just right, that the sun and the moon can appear of the same size. I mean, that the shadow of the moon can really start to come on the earth as the moon's shadow is falling. Really, that's what's happening, right? It's the moon's shadow falling on the earth, which is giving us the eclipse taking place. Now, there was the kings were very afraid of this time. They were very because it symbolized like an attack on the ruler. So they were always offering sacrifices. That was seen to be the trend at that time. If you study, there was a lot of sacrifices going on, and in some tradition, they would change the king, for a day before the eclipse, as they could, and then they would, on the day of the eclipse, they would offer the king as a sacrifice, and then the original king would step back after this eclipse. And thankfully, we don't have to do any sacrifices of that sort, but it's nevertheless still symbolizes a shift in the power. It is really a metaphor for that. Really, moon, which is the feminine energy, which is the symbolizing our inner process. Yes, our the unseen, the unknown, the unconscious, but also representing the sensitive aspect of the human psyche and much the satellite of Earth, a tiny satellite of Earth, is able to be the cause of totally engulfing the main source of light. And ultimately, which is the source of light, is within the human consciousness, really, because all the light that you see is because there is somebody who can see it, otherwise there is no light. For there to be light, there is a seer, who is ultimately giving meaning to light. And so it becomes a very, for it to be visible, it really is that shift, representing a shift in power, representing a call to awaken to an inner sensitivity of relating. So whether on an individual level or on a collective level, it is a call. It is a call from nature. That's how I like to see it. It's not so much as something extraterrestrial, affecting us. No, it is not something extraterrestrial affecting us. It is an invitation. Of course, when energies are intense, there is a possibility of something starting to arise in you. Things starting to give move in your consciousness, which might have been dormant. So it gives an activation to certain possibilities. But more than anything, it is really an invitation from nature to look within and to really ask ourselves, as this great event, it's one of the most beautiful events, if you can see it, occurs. What is our life about? What life are we willing to live? What life are we willing to lead? Because that is the fundamental question, and that we have to realize that no matter how small you are, you matter. There is really, you have the power to overshadow the greatest sun, and you have the power to bring light out, from the unseen and the unheard. I think it is important. This is the clear sign from nature that you matter. You matter. Your life matters. Who you are, the way you are of great relevance to life. What's going on inside you is of great relevance to life. And your awakening is the greatest gift you can offer to humanity at this point. This is the greatest gift you can offer to the planet. Your meditative awareness, your love, your realization that you are no more willing to just, live in an ego trap. You're no more willing to live in life believing in separatist propagandas. You're no more willing to believe in just stories being fed by the media, there is a shift of way you see the world. There is a shift of way you live. The shift where you ask a different kind of question and live a life which has a different answer. an answer which is your answer. It is not just words, but the life is an answer. And this is the, how we must look at this eclipse. It as a great invitation from nature to awaken to the unseen, the unknown. Yes, to realize the great power that lies dormant in you, to uh, awaken, that each and every individual is the entirety of the cosmos, that this, as we see it in this way, we can use this event to have a profound shift of directionality. Take this event to pause, don't rush so much. Don't be on a schedule for a while. What if you just drop a schedule for one day and or you switch off your phone, after listening to this, of course. You switched off your phone and just unhooked and just really went to the core of who you are. Really made your realization the priority, and really just took stock. Okay, what is this life about? And not be in a rush to answer the question, but to be with it and to explore and to come to the answer slowly, without any rush, without any pressure. Not to prove to the world or to announce to the world, but for yourself. And you realize as this shift starts to take place, and enough human beings can really come together in this, you have a shift on an external level too, because we have to realize that a true shift is all bottom up, all bottom up. It's never top down. Those times are gone. Thankfully, we are not living in times where one person can come and change everything, and some leader. No, the time is come where the all profound shift on an external level is only going to be bottom up. It's going to be individual. It's going to be individuals coming together sincerely who can see through the delusional tendencies of some humans to propagate fear, to keep yelling at the top of the lungs. You have to realize just because you're screaming and making a lot of noise about fear and how it doesn't make it true. It doesn't make just because we are screaming about something on the top of the lungs does not make it true. Just noise is not equivalent to truth. Silence is. You see, it's silence that gives access to the truth, not noise. And that is what we have to realize. The eclipse is a marking of silence, of really turning inward and shifting of priorities. Because what we value, priority is what does we value, and value creates attention. What we value drives attention. Value is the driver of attention. And vice versa, whatever we give attention to starts to be of value in our life. And as this shift is occurring, so you can, or some of you who are sensitive might be feeling that there is attention moving in a way to aspects of your own psyche which have, maybe need healing. Maybe parts of yourself which you might have not been giving attention to. You see, questions around relating, questions around sense of purpose, questions around what's going on in the world and your place in it. Maybe some feel helpless, maybe some of you. So it's really an important time of lot of truth exploration, truth exploration. So I would again say to look at this time as a great invitation for, if you are, especially in the mainland America, seems to be that's where it is occurring, where you can see it at least fully, and some part of it. And it's in Leo, this eclipse is in Leo. Leo symbolizing power and authentic power and inauthentic power, you see. So Leo represents the self-mastery within, a Leo lion, but also it represents overpowering the other. It symbolizes also misunderstanding of power. It symbolizes also the power through fear. So as you shift, as you transcend this propaganda of control and separatism and fear mongering, and you really just get to look through it, that there is really, you look through that there is nothing to be afraid of. Ultimately, you are the fearless, invincible being without beginning or end. That's the truth of who you are. As you really sit in the seat of that realization, there is a shift of power. The true Leo starts to rise, not the lion who is hungry, to eat, who's terrified, and yet, this is a lion who is well fed, who is just sitting in the seat of his power, fully realized and at ease, not in a prison. Mm. I was in once, there is a park, and they had this thin mesh wire, and there was these tigers, and they were feeding the tigers. And I asked this gentleman, I said, this mesh is too thin. Don't you think a tiger can break it? He said, yes, absolutely. But the thing is, they don't know they can. He said they don't know how powerful they are because they have been there, so they don't know, they are not aware of their own strength. If they really want, they can break this easily. But because they have, grown up in there and they have not really tested their power, so it's fine. So they have this thin little mesh wire there, So that seems to be also often the condition with the lion within. We are not aware of our own power, and we have been told that not, we have been told, conditioned, that you're not enough. Power is you don't have enough power, you need title, or you need to be called someone to be able to impact change. You have to be with a prefix or a suffix in your name for you to be of relevance to make change. Well, that's not the case. That's not the truth. And it is time to wake up to it, that you matter, that you are the change bringer, that you shift, you and no one else shifts this reality. For reality is happening within your consciousness. As your consciousness shows the reality, the reality does not happen outside the field of your consciousness. That is what reality means. Reality means to you what you are experiencing. And what are you experiencing is the state of your consciousness. You are experiencing the state of your consciousness, nothing else. All you are seeing is the state of your consciousness. When you see out every human being is acting out according to their state of consciousness. They're experiencing the world according to their state of consciousness. There is not one model of the world out there. There is 7 billion. And counting, you see, models of the world out there. You go and talk to people, different people, they will have a different model of the world. They're seeing the world in a different way. So there is no one fixed external reality out there. You see, it's all it's one whole with different views within it. Different views within it. And that is to realize that everything is within the field of consciousness. And as you shift your consciousness, as you impact, you not only shift your experience, but you also make it possible for other beings, for other, sentient beings to partake. It just makes it more accessible for other beings to have a profound shift. It just makes it more available to them. And as enough human beings can really start to get through this illusion of fear and control and separation and judgment and this kind of inner and external conflict, and we can really start to come to that state of fearless peace, I call it. It's fearless peace, it's unbreakable peace which is not circumstantial. It's not being at peace, but it's rather being peace. It's not about that you are in a particular situation which is peaceful. For peaceful situations are temporary in this relative world, where there are so many points of views. Of course, different point of views will come and clash, and the so-called peace which will be shaken. We have seen this, we are seeing it constantly. So only beings who can be as part of the solution are not people who are at peace, but people who are peace. For being at peace is like a fragile location, you see. Some news there and some little event there, and that's what a lot of time people know, and it's used as a controlling paradigm to keep you in fear. Oh, you're not in a peaceful situation. There is so much stress in the world. There is so much thing wrong in the world that people everywhere there are terrorists. Well, there are much nicer people and much more kind people in the world than violent people. That's a fact. How do I know it? Because I travel so much. There are amazing people all over the world, of all colors, castes, shapes. Even people you would not expect are ultimately very kind in their heart, or they are seeking the very thing that you are seeking. It's just the state of consciousness is different. See, and as you awaken, as you come to that fearless state of peace, where you are peace, when you are not, your peace cannot be broken or shaken by a statement, by some shift in the circumstance, by a little, theatrical event. And you can see through it, you become a force to be reckoned with. See, because you are it. If not you, who else? If not you, who else? If not in this life, which life? This is the life of Buddha for you. There is no other life. This is the Buddha life. Make this life the Buddha life, and let this eclipse use it, for that, to turn inward first. First turn inward and then out. You see, the only way out is in. The only way out is in. First turn in and then out. Use this energy to go inward within you and to discover the sun. Within you, discover that lion of freedom and let it roar. Let the lion of freedom roar inside of you, of being enough. You're not gonna be controlled anymore by fear. You're not gonna believe in violence anymore. You're not gonna feed separation. There's this game of us versus them, and somehow we are better and they are worse, and this is primitive. This is not the solution. For this is what you see. Any side, when two sides are fighting, you think any side feels that they are the wrong one? I mean, that's the definition of fighting. There is only find the right sides. Wrong people don't fight. The fight is always between two right people who think they are right. So the eclipse is not about being right. See, it's about being aware, moving towards truth. And that's what eclipse can be symbolizing. See, it's one of those symbols to really go beyond your opinion, beyond your positionality, to drop all positionality. For if we start from a positionality, then we are already limiting our capacity to arrive to truth. So we drop the positionality of being any identity. We move beyond positionality, going inward to that state of silence where you see, you are the seer of all possibilities. You are the seer of all positionalities, not just your positionality, but all positionality. You don't take any of it personally. You don't take any of it personally. And that's where you realize the taste of freedom. You see, there is really nothing personal about it. You need to stop taking it also personally. That's where the detachment. Vairagyam in yoga, we keep thinking about detachment, the inner detachment, What is detachment? Is when we stop taking it so personally. We move from ego, because ego is always taking it everything so personally, everything. When you move from ego above to cosmic level of consciousness, you start moving towards cosmic, you're not taking it personally. See, there is a detachment, there is space between you and what's happening. You start being the seer, and therein freedom starts to arise in you. Freedom starts to arise. And use this eclipse to really choose that freedom. Let this be the event, this magnificent event. A lot of people will hear about it, but if you are especially in the direct side where you can see it, it's magnificent. Some people, that's all they do in their life is just follow the eclipses, hoping to catch a glimpse, because it's this whole shadowing in the ring and the halo around the darkness, Really, it's a big, there's so much there's darkness coming, and with after darkness there is only light, and there is the darkness is really not darkness. The darkness is just an expression of light, right? The shadow that we are experiencing is because of the light. As the light of the sun falls on the moon, and the moon is in direct line of the earth, the sun is in the direct line of sight. There is this shadow which is being cast, which we are experiencing as the eclipse, and that is the expression of light. It is not an opposition to light. There is really no darkness. Darkness is just an expression of light. The shadow is the expression of light. So this play ultimately is a play, right? It's a play. There's really no darkness. There's no evil. Human beings have made evil. There's so much obsession with evil, and seems to be a very big word, axis of evil, and there's a lot of popular word in media, these evil, and these extreme words we use to define others. Anybody but you, just define there, and in your privacy, define yourself. Statistically, right now, one of the biggest threat facing humanity in the Western world is really themselves, right? If you look at right now, the chances of an individual killing themselves are much, much higher than a terrorist hurting them. I mean, they're exponentially high. It's not like 5% more. No. It's 10 times.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I think we lost Anand for a moment. Hopefully he'll come back. Yeah, we lost him, so let's hold the space that Anand will re-emerge here with us, like the sun will after the eclipse, re-emerge. Here we go. There you are. Yay.
So we have to drop this whole fixation over evil, something bad out there, or something bad in here. Yes, we have to move towards awareness, towards truth. For even in some times on the planet when they didn't have access to the scientific tools, they thought this eclipse was really a heating up of the sun, and they were scared and terrified. And they offered all kinds of bloody sacrifices, mostly of helpless beings. So right now, we are living in a time where we don't have to be afraid of it, but we can take another attitude towards it, just another thing, in this day and age where there's so many things going on and you are constantly inundated with endless information. You can just look at events, always just, life passing you by, and while we are just really glued up to the endless stream of things on the screen. But, we are not an island. We are living in an interconnected world. So these experiences are these experiences, these events are part of our world, part of our universe. So to use them and to be alert to them, to the subtle shifts and the subtle invitations that they represent, is an important part of an awakened life. So to use this to really go in and to transcend this self-hatred and hatred for each other, to really be a force of love in this world, and not just love in the sense of a four-letter romantic idea. Love is really nothing to do with romance. This is something much deeper and profound. It's at the very core of who you are. It's this very essence of living, a fearless living. And for me, that's what this eclipse energy is about. It's fearless living. So you going inward, really going to the truth. For truth is fearless. Truth is fearless. It doesn't need to be screamed out. Whether somebody hears it, it's true. If somebody doesn't hear it, it's true. Lies which need to make a lot of noise, but truth is truth. And if you are really established in it, then you naturally know what is the way you need to act. And you just silently do the work that needs to be done. You act consciously in all times. You choose love. You realize that within every body is this heart, really, this sensitive being there, who's just looking for love, really. Behind all the hatred and racial things and whatever we might be experiencing, it's important not to dehumanize or, monsterize human beings. The other side as a monster within, because that's just a reflection of our psyche. We really start to create monsters out of people, out of groups of people. We somewhere are denying certain aspect of ourselves. That does not mean that we have to agree. We have to agree. No, that's not what it means. What it means is that we are open to going past the delusional separations, delusional differences. And this is really a time for us to, first of all, really come to love within ourselves, experience love. And you will fundamentally experience that self-love. And there is this end of self-hatred. And what is the end of self-hatred, really? Is that you begin to catch a glimpse of who you are. You catch a glimpse of who you are. Like the solar eclipse, it's very short, the solar eclipse is very short. You catch a glimpse of that celestial. Just catch a glimpse, But that is enough for you to set you on your way. For it is not, the way is not somewhere out there. It's right here. And it's not this movement on the way. It's important to realize that since it is within you, doesn't require time. For the movement is within you. For a lot of time, when we are looking for this, we get trapped in time. Because we look at movement only in time, our senses understand movement in space. Yes? Moving from America to India, from Australia, Canada, this space, movement in space. So we are always thinking of movement in time together. But this movement within yourself is not in space. It's not like you somewhere else. This movement within you doesn't happen in space. Since it is not a phenomenon of space, it does not require time. It doesn't have to have tomorrow or 5 years from now when you are better and you have more tools. No, it's now. And continue this now, ever now, new now. So in yoga we say, when is the right time to practice? Now. And when? Now. When do I realize myself? Now. And now. And now. When do I experience freedom? Now. And now. And in the eternal now. You gotta practice it. You gotta experience it. You gotta be it. Be, practice, experience. Be, practice, experience. Be, practice, experience. Shift your state now. Use this energy. Use this energy to go in and shift your state. Commit yourself. There's just some questions that arise, Dana, because I can go on, about it, but let's see if there's some questions which naturally arising.
Yeah, we do have a question around what actually could we do during the eclipse? There's a lot of people who want to look at it, and then I know that there's some rumors or some maybe taboo around that I've maybe Vedic astrology even has said don't look at the eclipse. There's some. So what would you suggest in terms of during the eclipse?
You see, in the times they were saying it, there was not, specific glasses and all of that. So people, if they were, it was such a fascinating event, and if people looked at it directly, of course, their eyes would be, and that's why they always advise people to be inside. Why? Because if they were outside, they would naturally look up.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was so phenomenally magnificent. And if they would look up, their eyes, be affected. So if you have proper, you should take, protective measures for your eyes. If you are, I would suggest witness it. If you are, it's an amazing event. Why wouldn't you? But you have to make sure that you have the right equipment for your eyes, which, I don't need to go into what it should be. You just look at the glasses you need. But energetically, this on an energetic level, from a Vedic astrology level, this in the Vedic understanding, this is a time, eclipse, where it is really not about starting externally new things. It's about starting internally new things. Coming to inner states, very powerful time to deepen your meditation. It's very important time to meditate. It's a very important time to really set intention. Yeah, it's a great time to take silence, to really be with yourself. Even if you are in a community, but being in there like alone together, alone together, not with yap words and using each other, no, but really being silent and with yourself, aloneness and together. So it's really about going within yourself, and that's how this energy has been always been used in the Vedic tradition. Is really going inward and really going into your inner resolve and deeper sadhana, deeper meditative practice to really come to a very crystal clarity of vision, really clear about you, just getting rid of the clutter. Because as you go through life, even if you have had intentions, this your mind interacting with the world starts to get again clutter. A lot of clutter starts to happen in you, and your real intention of how you want to live starts to take a back seat. And then you say, oh, life, real life does it for you. No, life doesn't do it. It's your tendencies that do it. Life doesn't say I'm going to be like this. Life adapts the way you are. We think that is life happening to us. That's how human beings experience life often, is as if life happening to them, and they are somehow just coping with it. That's not the fact at all. You are life. You are happening to life. So it is important, and the eclipse to really, it's a time of going inward. So in Vedic tradition, it's traditionally nothing new. They don't really start new things around the eclipse as a venture or an initiative. They use this time, as in the yogic tradition, to pause your busyness, unplug, go in.
Do you, Anand, do you suggest a specific meditation?
You see, as long as you have any consistent sadhana, do that, but do it longer. If you know certain sets, use the sets right now. It's a very powerful time to use it. If you are using ceremony, if you have access, because there's so many different people, and what all practice you're using. But mantra-based techniques are very helpful during this time. If you are, you the bija mantra you're using, use your mantra. If you're using any longer mantra, using japa, it's a very powerful time during this time. Ceremonies, working with the elements, and of course, above all, is inner silence. Really going into deep silence and using your. If you're doing sets, so doing asana, pranayama, kriya, dhyana. Yes. Do a set, 20-minute asana, 20-minute pranayama, 20-minute Kriya, 20-minute meditation. Do this set over and over. Do 5-6 sets of that. You know, so you really get into this state of, you know, in that state of really inner realm. So you're doing it. It becomes a, you know, like a prayer wheel. So take time to really pause and really write. You know, what is stream of consciousness, or what is this life about, and really set your intention. Not just for a year, not just for the next week, but for life. What is your life? What does your life stand for?
And there's a question around, you know, it sounds like what you're saying is use this whole period of time. So does it sort of extend for some time after the actual event of the eclipse?
Yes, you know, I mean, of course, the visible eclipse lasts not but long, but the effect stays, you know. What is in the, from an astrological standpoint, you know, Rahu and Ketu. The sign for months, so eclipse effect, you know, for at least 2-3 weeks, you know, almost a month, it continues. You can see the energetic flow from it, in both directions.
So you cut out a little bit, but what I heard was, so for about 3 weeks to a month in both directions from the eclipse. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can say more like, you know, say let's say 2 weeks in both directions.
2 weeks in both directions, yeah. Let's see if there's any other questions here. So there's a question about, you know, is there more potent moments? Like someone asked a question about 11:11 a.m. or, you know, is there more potent moments to be kind of in this type of meditation, or is it just sort of just be in it generally?
You see, all moments are great moments. All moments are great moments. And, you know, if you are synchronistically tuned into these times of 11:11, and, you know, a lot of individuals have tuned into a certain time frame, do that, you know, tune into those times. If you're tuned into the Amrit Vela time, or the, you know, Brahma Mehrotra time, early morning, you know, 4 to 7 in the morning, tune into that time. And the twilight time in the evening, the twilight time is always very important. And if you're taking the day of silence, then let the whole day be really, you know, be a time of reflection, a time of just having space between you and the world. Just have a space between you and the world. I would say let the whole day be about that. Why not? Right? Why not? Yeah. What can be more important than you realizing yourself, than you being peace? What could be more important in the world? Right? Than you being peace, and then radiating that peace out for the world to partake in. Get to the seat of your power and then make change.
Paula is asking you to repeat what you offered: 1 asana, 2 pranayama, 3, what was that? Kriya. And 4 meditation. Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful. Well, let's just end here. I think that you've given us so much beautiful wisdom and direction around how to really work with this eclipse energy. Thank you so much. Is there, someone asked around sharing a specific way to replace hatred with compassion.
Sorry, say again.
Sharing a specific way, a way of being able to replace hatred with compassion.
Yes. You see, when you are, what is compassion? First of all, compassion is the ultimate flowering of love. And what is hatred? Is the absence of love. So a person who is spewing hatred is disconnected from love. They are experiencing hatred within. For an individual to spew hatred out into the world, it is a direct reflection of their state of experience. That's how they're experiencing their reality. They're experiencing their world in isolated purgatory. They are terrified of the world and it's just spewing it out. So it is not just replacing, you see. When you are experiencing compassion, you are just untouched by hatred. You know, you're not touched by it because you're touched by love now. So it's your natural expression of your response will arise. That response to hatred will naturally be either could be you don't give it importance. You let the person go and you just do the work. It needs to be done. You go and make the change. You go and talk. You go and initiate certain practical change instead of just talking about it. Yes, you make a difference in your life, just the way you are. Or you even the compassionate response to is to go and be kind to a stranger. Just be kind every day, loving and kind for no reason. When nobody is watching, nothing. Just be loving and kind every day. The way you in your walk be loving and kind, in your talk be loving and kind. When you eat, be loving and kind. Yes, it's not that difficult. It's not that difficult for us to be loving and kind because it gives us great joy. It gives us great joy to be loving and kind. If you're standing in a line, be in loving kindness. Even if you're marching on the road, be marching with loving and kindness. Yes. To be loving and kind does not mean that you have to be all gentle. Loving and kind is ferocious also. As I said, like a lion, but be loving and kind. So compassion is really the ultimate flowering of love. A compassionate human being is just beyond love, beyond hatred. The hatred option has just fallen away. For hatred is an absence of love. It's a dominance of fear, terrifying fear. So the person who is hating is suffering the most. So it's important to not take any of it personally. So it's like otherwise hatred is somebody just spewing hatred out and they're just like, person who has a hook inside of them and they're walking around with that hook, another end of the hook outside and it's really hurting there and they're just walking around with that hook, right? And then you say, okay, here, I will take that hook and I will also sting itself to me. So to take any of this hatred personally is to do that. It's like somebody who has the hook already inside them is hurting and you say, okay, I will take it on to react to that, right? So you have to let that go. Especially these days, where a lot of time people are using the internet to just spew hatred, just to spew hatred. Everybody feels like that that's what the internet, a lot of time people feel that's what these platforms are for, to just spew hatred and opinions. We don't need that more of that in the world, So, and if to take it personally is to give in to the psychosis of it. When you are in compassion, you just look at it as, just for what it is. It has no meaning. Don't give it any energy. Don't give it any value. I don't feed this. Feed compassion. Feed loving kindness. Move in that way. Don't try to react to hatred. Hatred becomes irrelevant. You don't, when you're moving in loving kindness, you don't have to look, okay, I'm going to act now in loving kindness because that person is hating. No. You just are loving kind. And you don't partake in the hatred. Don't partake in it. You be loving kind. You always be loving kind. You go out of your way to be kind to each other, to yourself. Be kind to yourself. For if you're not kind to yourself, you cannot be kind to anybody. You don't honor yourself here, you cannot honor anybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So there's more questions, but just in honor of your time, Anand, I want to just really thank you so much. And for all of you who, have more questions, we have a course coming out with Anand called The Path to Radical Self-Mastery. It launches in November, and there'll be a lot of opportunity to ask questions during that course as well. It's a 6-chapter program, really taking you through the steps of self-mastery, and it's absolutely phenomenal. Has changed my life completely, and I'm truly just so grateful for your presence, your teachings, your wisdom, Anand. And Anand has a beautiful center, retreat center in India, Sattva Center, that I'm sure everyone is welcome to come to and be with Anand there. And Hanuman actually has a retreat planned again next March to be with Anand at Sattva Center. So there's many opportunities to continue the journey and the study with Anand. So much love and gratitude from me and Yoshi and everyone here at Hanuman Academy, Hanuman Festival, Hanuman Adventures, and we look forward to next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dana. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for listening, and thank you for taking time out for yourself, really, above all. For if you are listening to this, there is somewhere inside you, this fire has burned. And it's that fire which has made you listen to this, and feed that fire more than anything else. Feed that fire. Let it burn away all the conditioning, all the cobwebs which hold you back from your freedom. And I honor you. I bow to each and every one of you for being the light that you are. And I look forward to seeing you on the way somewhere in this reality.